More questions and answers this morning after major problems at the Iowa caucuses.
No answers, really. 0 precincts reporting. The reason we're told technology issues. The Iowa Democratic Party saying it will release the results later today. Officials blaming the delay on a new mobile app that was used, and then quality control checks. Problems getting results phoned into the party headquarters. Our Esme Murphy was at a caucus last night. She is live in West Des Moines, Iowa this morning. And Esme, wow, just what an unbelievable turn of events.
It's just shocking, Jason. It really is. I was at a caucus last night. I was also at the Klobuchar caucus party. It's unbelievable that there are no results here. Now, you mentioned the problems with the app. The Democratic Party is saying, yes, that was a problem, that reporting the results was a problem. The problem also, according to the caucus goers that I was at, and also to the people I talked to, was that they were reporting 3 sets of results this time around. Yes, 3 sets of results. They weren't just reporting the final delegate count, which they've always reported. They reported the first tally of people there, then they reported the final tally, and then they reported the delegates. So it's 3 sets of results. I saw a lot of confusion at the caucus that I was at over those 3 sets of results that had to be reported. And I talked to a couple that were down here in Des Moines for Senator Amy Klobuchar. They were volunteering. They were at another caucus, and they said there was confusion there too.
It sounds as if there was confusion at your caucus.
There was. They did several recounts.
Yeah, and we had 151 delegates there, but some of these caucuses that have 800 or 900, and I'm sure the same problem was going on as far as counting.
So that's the report from one caucus. I was at another caucus where there was a lot of confusion about these 3 sets of results. There were 1,700 caucuses around the state. Now, Senator Klobuchar did come out just after 10 o'clock to talk to her supporters. She sounded very upbeat and even almost had an air of victory about her as she talked to them. It was just after 10 p.m. when Senator Amy Klobuchar appeared before cheering supporters, joking about the slow returns.
You've probably heard we don't know the results. We know there's delays, but we know one thing. We are punching above our weight.
Klobuchar talked about her campaign's long road and the many skeptics who thought she would have dropped out by now.
Then in the summer, they kept saying, is she going to make it through the summer? And then debate after debate after debate. And all I can say is we are here and we are strong.
She thanked her supporters and said her fight will continue.
Our country cannot take another 4 years of Donald Trump. Our collective sense of decency can't take another 4 years.
But what's not clear is if Senator Klobuchar will have enough momentum coming out of Iowa to do well in states where she has less support and far less organization.
Let's stay up, let's stay happy, and let's head to New Hampshire. Thank you, Iowa. I love you.
And Senator Amy Klobuchar already in New Hampshire this morning, giving interviews, appearing very upbeat. But the questions are just growing here. The Democratic Party is saying they will release results later today. They're not saying when. But overall, there are going to be so many questions about this caucus going forward. What happened? How could it happen after 3.5 years of planning? How could there be, frankly, this big of a screw up?
Esme, we've seen this not to this degree, but we have seen a little bit of chaos in caucuses here in Minnesota. And this year we're having a primary. What do you think this is going to do about the future of the Iowa caucuses?
Well, I think it's going to be bad news for the future of the Iowa caucuses, but also caucuses in general. And Jason, you have a very good point. In 2016, I was at a caucus at a school in St. Paul. It was so crowded and so chaotic. They ran out of ballots. People were actually collapsing in the rooms. It was so overheated, and it was a cold night out. So because of that, because it was so chaotic, and also what Democratic leaders and party leaders for both parties felt, it was essentially undemocratic because people who were disabled, people with small children, it was really hard for them to get to a certain place for a couple of hours and be there for that caucus. But you're absolutely right. There were problems with the caucus in 2016 in Minnesota, and that's the main reason they went to a primary. I think there are going to be a lot of questions just like that here in Iowa this morning.
All right, Esme, thank you. We'll look forward to your reporting throughout the day today as we hope to get some clarity. No real surprise on the Republican side. President Donald Trump easily won. 97% of those who caucused chose to him. He did not face any significant opposition.